Action.
Thank you for the action. Hey, everybody, meatloaf tonight. No glamour going here. Oh, my oven is hot enough now. It's on 350. No glamour for me today. I've been out pulling weeds most of the day, so I'm coming in. Hands are even looking still a little tough because I've been pulling weeds, but I swear to God, I scrub them, so the food's good. We are making meatloaf. Now, really easy, super simple. The longest thing is the cooking, actually. It takes only a couple of minutes to put it together. We use, starting out with 2 eggs, which I'm just going to lightly mess about with just to get them broken up. And to that, I'm going to add 3/4 cup of milk, just regular old everyday milk. Into that, I've got 1/2 cup of breadcrumbs. Now, this is where I'm different. Sometimes I do different things. Today I'm using garlic and herb breadcrumbs. I have I'm so funny, I've got like 6 different kinds of breadcrumbs. I got them plain in there, I've got them Parmesan. Well, today I've chosen to not do just the seasoned. They also have seasoned. This is going to be garlic and herb, just for a little bit different taste, for something fun. So there it is, tossed in there. And 1/4 of, and this is when I use chopped onions like this. If I didn't have any of these, I would definitely just go chop an onion myself, and that's all done. So I just had my new one open for you. And I'm generous. I mean, I don't just go with the, I get kind of crazy generous on that. So I did what they wanted in the recipe and some. When it's done, it was probably closer to 1/3, not quite 1/2 of a cup of chopped onions. Then 2 tablespoons, and this is a 2 tablespoon.
More than 1/3.
1/4 is where I started.
Oh,
I started at 1/4, and I said so. It'll be about. Thanks, it's probably more like 1/3 instead of 1/2. 2 tablespoons of parsley. As you can see, it's a 2 tablespoon measuring, and I just dropped it, which I will need it later. So I will go rinse it quickly. So yeah, today was beautiful outside. Gorgeous day outside. Absolutely picking weeds and flowers. I got one of the back gardens done today. It was fantastic. And then I have a teaspoon of salt, and I do use the regular amount or close to the regular amount of salt when I do something like this. So it's about a tablespoon. About a teaspoon right there. So there you go. And then it's 1/2 teaspoon of sage. Oops, there you go. Sage. There's your 1/2 teaspoon. So Tim's got to go out and finish mowing the lawn. Poor guy. He got stopped in the middle of mowing the lawn to go give a quote to somebody for a job. And this is where you add the hamburger. And this is definitely my hamburger from Bob Pravazzi. By the way, last weekend, the fire department had another pop-up sale. Fantastic. I don't know if any of you participated, but it was fantastic. It was even more variety filled than the first pop-up. There was, I think, 6 pages of things. It was all kinds of frozen vegetables, and there was we got the chicken breasts, both breaded and unbreaded, and Tim and I tried the pork sausages the other day. Oh, those were really good. And they also had milk and eggs for quite inexpensive because the Fairfield Market apparently sent over milk that they could sell from there. The eggs were only $2, the milk was $3.50. It was just an amazing event. I just wanted to shout out to the Grady's Golden Goodness Foundation, because they, amazing, these guys are amazing. The Horgans are amazing people. They gave everybody 1 free pound of butter. The butter was already an amazing sale of 3 pounds for $8.50, but whether you bought butter or not, they put one in all 120 sales packages, which was just ridiculously amazing. So I want to say thank you Grady's Golden Goodness Foundation and everybody that's behind that, and I have to say that I cried. I cried because it was so beautiful. All right, so this is where, okay, I'm just going to do what I normally do. This is what I really do. So I'm going to do it. You know, I was going to be polite and use a spoon in front of you, but you know what? You want to know what I really do. You always want to know how I really cook. This is what I do. When it comes to this part, I just get my hands seriously messy. And I absolutely fold it and fold it and fold it. So this ends up going in an oven for an hour and a quarter. So my timer goes on 75 minutes when I put this in the oven. And so it gives you a lot of time to get other things done. What we're going to do is, if you can see over here, one of the items we got from the pop-up sale was some nice new red potatoes. So I'm going to put red potatoes. I'm not even going to peel them. I'm just going to wash them vigorously with my brush. And I'm going to cut them up so that the skins stay on them. And I'm going to make mashed potatoes with the skins on. Oh, that's going to be fantastic. See how this is all together now? There's not a bit that you can't see that does not have... Is my hand in the way, or can you see it?
I can see it.
Okay. See how it's evenly dispersed amongst it? So, yeah, this is it. This is how easy it is. They say you can use 1 pound to 1.5 pounds. All of my hamburger... we should have used that. We had one more big package somewhere. We should have used that bigger package. Didn't even think of it. But all my packages from Bob come in 1 pound. He's amazing. He knows it's just him and I, and so he cuts. When he cuts and packages the meat, he cuts it for just 2 people, so that if we want other guests, we know we just grab more than 1 container. Right? Yeah, because we know everything's cut up for just us 2. Then you're just gonna throw it in here. You're just gonna. I mean, if I was being polite, I'd get a spatula out and I'd put it all in there, but this is really what I do when I make meatloaf, so I might as well be really showing you. There's nothing really polite about making meatloaf, because you really want to make sure it's all, and that's how easy it is. That's all there is to it. So now I cook it at 350 for 45 minutes, but that's not all there is to the whole recipe. So let me just wash my hands so that I can get back to you and tell you what's done next. That is in the oven, like I said, for an hour and a quarter. So I set my timer on 75 minutes. And when it comes out, you take it out and you will skim any, well, there's not going to be on this one because it's Bob Provazzi's meat. But if you're using meat from the store, then there will be, as we all know, every time we do all of our other dishes, our spaghetti sauces and all that, there's going to be grease on it. Take the time to spoon that grease off the top. There won't be any on this one because we already know the high quality of this meat. Once you've spooned any of the excess grease off it, and I'm going to go put this in the oven right now because we're done with this. For 75 minutes, we're done with it. So timer.
75? I thought you said 45.
It's an hour and a quarter, so 75 minutes. Okay.
All right.
Oops. Yeah, no, I was going to put some salt and pepper in there, but I did not. We'll put it at the table. I usually salt and pepper to taste, but that's okay. So what I do is I love to put a little something on top of it. Well, Danielle made a wonderful meatloaf the other day, my daughter Danielle, and what she did is basically the same thing I did, and she made it in a, she didn't use a loaf pan, but she made it, she formed it into a loaf, and then she wrapped it all in bacon. So I'm assuming she cooked it for about the same time I did, but I can ask her for sure. But I don't know how long she did it because with the bacon, I don't know if it makes a difference or not. But she didn't use a loaf pan because with bacon, there's going to be grease. So she put it in like a cake pan that was really wide, like a 9 by 11 or whatever those are. And she made the loaf and wrapped it in bacon this way and wrapped it in bacon this way. And then when she cut it, there was bacon all the way in it, which is really cool. I've also heard of people.
Sounds yummy.
It does, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try it because she told me how, but I forgot to ask her for her recipe. So maybe we can get her to make it for us live, and we could post it. That would be so cool. And then also some people have done like a cheeseburger. They call it a cheeseburger meatloaf. So and then you could even gild the lily a little more, and you could wrap that one in bacon too. That would be just naughty. And what they do is, as they're doing what I'm doing, putting it in the loaf pan, before you only put half of it in the loaf pan, and then you put a whole ton of cheese in the middle, and then you put the top on. Same thing, and then it'll just cook, and when it's done, it'll have that big tunnel of cheese all the way through the middle. Very cool too. I don't know that I would assume that there isn't any difference on the cooking on that because the cheese is just going to get melted anyway. So what we do is I like to have, there's a little, is this the half? Yep. There's a, I like to put, oh, the one thing I did forget, I didn't forget this. I've never forgotten this before because I had it set over here. I always throw, the recipe doesn't ask for ketchup in it, but in my meatloaf, I always just stand there and free pour for like a quarter. It's somewhere between a quarter and a third. I always free pour. I did not put it in this time, so I'm going to see how that taste difference is. I like to have the ketchup in it. But we do put ketchup on the top. There's this really neat sweet topping that you put on top. I like to double it. They have only 1/4 of a cup of ketchup, and I like to double it up. So it's 1/2 ketchup. I like to have a bunch of it on the top. It's pretty scant the way they do it, but so I double it. Here's your 1/2. And then you have 2 tablespoons of, and this is a 2 tablespoon measuring, remember? Remember, this is a 2 tablespoon measurement already. So 2 tablespoons, I'm going to double that. I can't believe I didn't put ketchup in there, guys. Remember, free pour on the ketchup. Whatever you like for free pour on ketchup. And then 1 teaspoon, I think it's 1, right? Yep, 1 teaspoon. Oh, here it is. Here's my 1 teaspoon of dry ground mustard. So I'm going to put 2 teaspoons in there because I'm doubling it. So when you got to your hour and 15 minutes, which is 75 minutes, when you've gotten to that part and you're taking it out, and if you've got any grease on top, remember to take the grease off. Then you just, and this is so yummy. This is so, oh, it just adds, it doesn't add a nice sweet layer to the top, hon. Mm-hmm. It is a really good thing to have on top. And then you just mix this up, and you just liberally, like, you put it all over the top of it. Seal the edges because they're already going to be starting to come away from the edge anyways because of, you know, like everything cooks in a loaf pan, it pulls away from the edge. But you just put this on it, and it only lasts, you only put it back in the oven for exactly 10 minutes. And that's it. And this gets a nice little sweet top on it. It doesn't get hard or anything, it stays nice and soft, but it's a nice thing so that when you cut down your piece of meat, this little sweetness goes with you. So, cooking the whole thing for 75 minutes, which is an hour and a quarter, and then you pull it out, take any grease off if there is any, and then you replace it, put this back on top of it, and put it back in for 10 more minutes, and it is done. So that's exactly how easy meatloaf is. I hope you have fun with it, and be imaginative. Add your own things. I mean, like, I could have put mushrooms in here. I forgot the ketchup this time. I've never forgotten the ketchup, so I can't wait to see how that tastes. Every time it's a little bit different, I suppose. So you play with it. What do you have on your shelves? Like today, I just used the dehydrated ones, but usually, you know us, we just are chopping onions like a crazy fool. So I'm sitting here. I'm having my Sobe. That's the strawberry daiquiri one. And shout out to Dawn Miller because she taught me how wonderful this passion fruit is. And that is welcome to summer, and have a good evening till we meet again. Bye.